This card is going to be using some masking techniques, and I'm going to walk you through on how to do this. We're going to be using the stamp from these two cute little double birds, and again, the single bird here, we want to have them, we're going to be using that. We're going to be using the dies that come with it, and we're going to be doing some masking. So what we want to do is we have our black Memento ink, and we're going to have some Stampin' Blends. So what from your pack you want to grab is this crushed curry. That's going to be the card base, and there's a piece of black cardstock, and that goes on top. What we have is a piece of white that goes on there, and we're going to be doing stamping. We're going to be having this little piece of black as kind of a break, and we might bring in some DSP for the bottom. So we're going to grab some of that. But what we want to do first is we're going to work on the top portion of this piece of basic white. Now, to know where I'm going to be placing my birds, I'm actually going to start with the sentiment at the top. Again, I'm going to be using the large sentiment up there, and I'm going to be stamping that in black Memento ink. And the reason I do that is so that I can know where to place the rest of my birds. So let's ink it up and stamp it at the top. What we want to do next is we are going to be figuring out where we're going to be placing some of the birds. And what I just took a piece of DSP, and this is going to be just used as a guide, that's all. And what I'm going to do is actually, I want a little bit, maybe about an inch, and I'm going to kind of put a little mark along there so that I know where the break is, where I'm going to be placing my birds. You might want to get some extra basic white cardstock. There is some in there. You might want to get a little bit more for this next portion. What we're going to do is we're going to lay some of the birds down here. In particular, you see this one here. I'm going to try and grab him and place him on there. So I want to do some masking. So I'm going to get some Post-it notes to use along with this. So I want to mask this particular bird, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up. And I just want to ink that one bird up. You know, if it gets a little bit of the other bird, that's okay. But I'm going to take it along the line, and I'm going to start on this edge, and I just want that little bird kind of popping him as much as I can. So I'm going to pop him up, and you can see he's on the line. And I want a couple of birds along here. What I'm going to do actually before I go any further is I'm going to take this piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp an image of the two birds together, and I'm going to stamp it on there. Make sure it's well inked. And it's okay if the bottom part falls off because I don't need that. I want the main part of the bird. I want this portion of the bird used on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut him out and then lay it on and see where else I can place some other birds. So let's do that. I'm going to put a little Post-it note on so that that doesn't move. Make sure it's on there, that I'm not cutting off their beak or their legs or anything else. Place that on, and let's die cut that out. And I'm going to place him on here so I can see the birds are kind of being like right about here. I'm going to lay them over top, and I can see I'm going to stick another bird on this side here, and maybe one a little bit further back. I don't know. Let's just take a look. So again, what I need to do is ink up that one little bird. That's all I want. Don't want all the other birds. So this is where the masking comes in. So I can see where this bird is right about here. Let's take him away. Going to put it right about there. And I'm going to pop him on right a little lower. So remember, there's the line. There's the branch. And I'm going to pop him up. Let's bring him over a little bit more. Move him. Now I want to hide this one bird. There we go. Okay. Now what I do, I can bring this guy up. Even though he's kind of cut off a little bit, I can kind of mount him so he's a little hidden. Now I want to put another one right up here. So what I'm going to do is ink it up. So it's right about there. Right about there. Again, I just want this little guy. Might have to get another, mask him like that. Put him a little higher. There we go. And oh, look, see there, now they're all coming together. Now, the area on the bottom, I'm not going to worry too much because that is going to be hidden by DSP. That is actually quite cute. All right. I want to have another bird over here, but I'm not going to stamp it on this. I guess I could place him on here like this. You know what? Let's just stamp him on there. You could always stamp him on here and then raise him up, just like we did the other piece. And actually, that's what I might do. So I might do that. I might do two. I want to see how it turns out. I'd rather have the option of having two birds. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap. I'm going to just die cut him out, stamp him, and I'm just going to die cut him out. I may use him, I may not, I don't know. It depends on how the card all comes together or how I feel about it. Again, we're going to die cut him, put the Post-it notes over, and off we go to cut. Okay. I might use them, I might not, I don't know. What we need to do is all of these birds we need to color with our Stampin' Blends. I'm going to be coloring these guys with Smoky Slate, Crumb Cake, and some Wild Wheat. So let's color these guys up a little bit. And I'm going to start with this guy here. And all we need to do is color our birds. All right, we now have got them all colored up. And what we can do is we can see these guys sit right on top, very super duper cute. But let's add some DSP to the bottom to hide all of this. I'm just going to grab something from my DSP pile, and I'm going to see what looks really nice with that. I'm not sure if that one. I'm going to go through some of these. Oh, that one looks really good. So I want something that's a little bit kind of muted in color. So I'm going to cut about an inch. Let's double check. So I'm going to double check to make sure that that's an inch. That is an inch, so I'm going to go a little higher, so about an inch, and I'm going to glue that on. Now this part will be hidden, so I want to make sure I get as much bird up there as possible. So let's put that on there. I'm going to flip this over. Got a little bit more than an inch, so maybe I'll just slide it up. Cut off the excess. Maybe move that up a bit. It's a little bit, so you know what? Maybe what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim that off. I really like to have the birds up there. I don't want too much DSP. It's actually to hide the rest of the bottom part. Okay, looking good. We just need to add our little piece of black on there. Okay. I'm actually going to use glue dots because I'm not the greatest with the liquid glue in a small area, so I'm just going to toss some glue dots on there. I know it's going to get in the exact spot I want and won't squish out the side. So I'll put some glue dots on, and I'm going to lay that on top. There we go. Anything hanging over, I can just snip off. There we go. What I want to do next is I'm going to actually start matting this before I put those pieces of birds on. It goes on the black. There you go. And then it's going to go onto the card base. Onto the card base. Just like that. You can see the card coming together. All I need to do is figure out where I'm going to put these guys. Move them over, and we add width dimensionals to that. Pop him in between. Oh, look, it just clears that. Oh, that looks so good. Now I could leave that bird there, or the one that I can lay it on top. And I think I'm going to lay that one on top. The one that is colored on there looks very cute, but I think this is going to add a little bit more. There. Let's get some embellishments, and I'm going to add some of those to the red. Get some embellishments. I'm going to get the 3-1. Oh, thereabouts. You're right. I was just going to pop it on there. Get another one. Put them down here. Get a single one for here. Maybe I should do all three. I'm not sure. I think I'll have to do all three. There we go. And that is that card done. There is some masking for you. That was a lot of fun. All those little birds are just so darn cute. There we go. What do you think?